Your life is a mirror, reflecting the world that exists within your mind. To change your life, you must first change your thinking. Consider this. At some point, a staggering 85% of people will struggle with low self-esteem, a battle often fueled by negative self-talk. This number is significant enough to make us pause and ask, what is happening inside our own minds? Today, we delve into a subject as challenging as it is transformative: the mastery of negative thinking. This is not simply about silencing an inner critic. It is about empowering ourselves to lead more profound and fulfilling lives. Within the world of Stoicism, we find a deep understanding that our thoughts are not mere whispers. They are the powerful voices that dictate our happiness and our suffering. Stoic wisdom teaches that while the world may not bend to our will, our perception of it is entirely within our control. The Stoics were not just ancient philosophers. They were the ultimate mental warriors, battling the tyranny of uncontrolled thoughts and emotions with calm rationality. I am here to guide you in understanding how these negative thoughts take hold and to explore the practical Stoic strategies that can set you free. We will learn to harness the power of our minds, building a life not bound by the chains of negativity, but propelled by the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. If you feel a flicker of skepticism, I invite you to remain. This journey may challenge your deepest beliefs, but it will also open a door to a new horizon of personal growth. Before we begin, I encourage you to share this exploration with others on their own path of self-discovery. And if you value the insights we uncover, the simplest way to support our journey into Stoicism is to subscribe. Now, let us begin. Understanding the problem. Negative thinking is far more than an occasional nuisance or a fleeting bad mood. It is a pervasive current that can alter the course of our lives. It shapes how we feel upon waking, and it influences the choices we make in our health, our careers, and our relationships. But what is it, precisely? At its core, negative thinking is a pattern of anticipating the worst, undermining our own efforts, and seeing ourselves as less capable than we truly are. Why do we fall into this trap? The Stoics believed that it is not events themselves that disturb us, but our interpretation of them. The philosopher Epictetus famously said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them." This insight is the key to understanding our struggle. It is not reality that constrains us, but the lens through which we view it. The psychologist Carl Jung offered a similar perspective. He recognized that much of our negativity stems from the unconscious parts of our mind. As Jung wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." By bringing these hidden beliefs and biases into the light, we can begin to loosen their grip on us. Consider the impact on daily life. When facing a challenge, negative thinking can create the feeling of defeat before we have even begun. It is like rowing a boat with all your might, only to realize you are still anchored to the shore. No matter how hard you strive, you go nowhere. Stoicism teaches us to examine these thoughts with critical logic, to question the validity of our negative assumptions. In his Meditations, Marcus Aurelius prompts us to scrutinize our thoughts and dismiss those that are irrational or unhelpful. This kind of introspection allows us to detach from harmful patterns and reclaim our mental landscape. We must also acknowledge the influence of our culture. In a world saturated with messages of not being enough, not successful enough, wealthy enough, or smart enough, it is easy for negative thoughts to take root. These messages find fertile ground in the mind, sprouting weeds of doubt that can choke our potential. But Stoicism arms us with the tools to clear these weeds and to cultivate a garden of supportive, empowering thoughts. This is the challenge we tackle today. Not to merely dismiss negative thoughts, but to understand them, question them and replace them with reasoned, constructive thinking. This Stoic approach is not about coping, it is about thriving. By mastering our thoughts, we master our perceptions and ultimately our lives. As we continue, let us remember that every thought we choose to entertain and every one we decide to challenge is a step toward the life we truly desire. Origins of negative thinking. To effectively address negative thinking, we must understand its origins. This is not about cataloging bad habits, but about unearthing the deep roots that shape our mental landscape. Negative thoughts often sprout from many sources: our upbringing, societal pressures, past failures, and even the seemingly careless comments of others. Each can plant a seed of doubt, fear, or limitation that can mature into a persistent state of negativity. From a young age, we may find ourselves in environments that fail to foster positive self-worth. A child repeatedly told they are not clever enough, or an educational system that rewards only perfection, can profoundly color one's worldview. Aristotle once remarked, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Applied to the mind, this means that repeated negative thoughts become a habit of seeing ourselves in a diminished light. Our own experiences of failure and rejection can then reinforce these negative scripts. Every setback can affirm the internal whisper that says, "I knew I couldn't do it." This becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, not because we lack ability, but because our actions begin to align with our negative beliefs. Here, Plato's profound insight resonates. Reality is forged in the mind, and by changing our thoughts, we can reshape our world. By challenging our interpretations of past events, we can begin to dismantle the foundations of our negativity. Fear also plays a critical role. While a natural protective mechanism, it can spiral into excessive worry, overshadowing our rational judgment. Fear of failure, of the unknown, of rejection, all can lead to catastrophic thinking, where the mind leaps to the worst possible outcome. Stoicism offers a powerful tool against this: the premeditation of evils. This practice involves visualizing the worst-case scenario in detail, not to dwell on it, but to lessen its emotional power should it ever come to pass. As Carl Jung noted, many of our negative thoughts are rooted in unconscious beliefs formed in our early years. These beliefs, influenced by parents, teachers, and media, often go unchallenged simply because we are not aware of them. Making these beliefs conscious is the first step toward robbing them of their power. Finally, societal and cultural pressures cannot be overlooked. We live in a world that often emphasizes competition and sets impossibly high standards, leading to constant comparison and feelings of inadequacy. Stoicism teaches us to redirect our focus from external validation to internal virtue, encouraging us to measure our success not by comparison to others, but by our own personal growth. The roots of negative thinking are complex, yet by leveraging the wisdom of philosophy and psychology, we can begin to unravel these thought patterns. This understanding empowers us to reconstruct our mental framework into one of positivity and resilience. Renew your mind. When we speak of renewing the mind, we are not suggesting a fleeting attempt at positive thinking. We are advocating for a profound and enduring transformation of our internal dialogue. This is about cultivating a mindset that allows us not just to survive, but to thrive. The Stoic philosophers offer timeless guidance on this path, through the disciplined practice of reflecting on our thoughts and deliberately shaping them. A central tenet of Stoicism is that our emotions are the result of our judgments, and our judgments are within our power to change. The emperor-philosopher Marcus Aurelius once noted, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This powerful assertion reminds us that renewal begins when we seize control of our thoughts, scrutinize them, and align them with our truest values. Aristotle provides a valuable perspective, stating, "Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom." This introspective journey involves identifying the thought patterns that serve us versus those that sabotage us. By becoming more aware of our thoughts, we can begin to challenge the negative ones that have become ingrained over time. This process is not about denying our emotions, but about understanding them more deeply and thus managing them more effectively. This Stoic wisdom is beautifully complemented by Carl Jung's insights into the human psyche. Jung warned that what we resist persists. By refusing to acknowledge our negative thoughts, we grant them power in the shadows of our unconscious. Instead, Stoicism teaches us to acknowledge them, analyze their origin, and assess their truthfulness. This method prevents these thoughts from festering and growing unchecked. Furthermore, renewing the mind requires us to engage with materials and activities that nurture growth. This might include reading philosophical texts, engaging with inspiring art, or simply spending time in quiet reflection. These activities provide new narratives and perspectives that can replace our old, unhelpful stories. Socrates' insistence on living an examined life is crucial here. By continually examining our beliefs, we engage in a process of mental renewal that keeps our minds agile and our spirits aligned with our highest goals. Plato also emphasized the importance of aligning with ideal forms of justice, beauty, and goodness. In a similar way, renewing our minds is an effort to align our thoughts with the most virtuous and empowered version of ourselves. To put this into practice, we can begin each day with a simple Stoic reflection, setting the tone for the thoughts we wish to nurture. These daily practices are the building blocks of a renewed mind. Surround yourself with positivity. This principle involves consciously choosing the environments, the people, places, and media that support our well-being. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca famously advised, associate with people who are likely to improve you. This guidance urges us to be selective about our company, cultivating relationships that inspire us to grow. Aristotle also touched upon the importance of the company we keep. He believed the highest and most valuable form of friendship is based on mutual respect and the admiration of each other's virtues. These are the relationships that encourage us to become better versions of ourselves. They are inherently positive, rooted in a mutual striving for excellence. Plato's allegory of the cave teaches us about the impact of our environment on our perception of reality. The prisoners believed shadows on the wall were reality, because that was all they had ever known. This metaphor illustrates how expanding our surroundings to include enlightening influences can profoundly change our perspective. Carl Jung's ideas about the collective unconscious also offer insight. According to Jung, our psyche is influenced by shared cultural memories and ideas. By choosing supportive and positive environments, we can influence the narratives that dominate our inner world, shifting from those that emphasize fear to those that embody strength and self-actualization. In practical terms, this means engaging with content and activities that reinforce our goals. It means participating in communities where discussions are rooted in encouragement rather than criticism. It requires us to be vigilant about the media we consume, opting for books and films that inspire and educate. It also means creating a physical environment at home and at work that reflects the virtues we admire. This can be as simple as keeping a clean and organized space, which mirrors a clean and organized mind. By surrounding ourselves with positivity, we cultivate enthusiasms that align with our better nature. This not only enhances our own lives, but creates a ripple effect of positivity for all those around us. Take Stoic action. On our journey to overcome negative thinking, the Stoics remind us that understanding and intention are not enough. Action is essential. As Epictetus so clearly put it, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. This directive underscores a profound Stoic truth. Our ideals must be manifested through our deeds. Taking action, in the Stoic sense, means making deliberate choices every day that align with our values of wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. By embodying these virtues in our actions, we challenge the negative thoughts that claim we are incapable or unworthy, rewriting our narrative to one of empowerment. Aristotle also emphasizes the significance of action. For him, virtue is not a state of mind, but a state of character resulting from habitual practice. We become just by performing just actions, brave by performing acts of bravery. Action is not merely a demonstration of virtue. It is the very means by which virtue is cultivated. Plato lends insight through his theory of forms, which posits that to know the good is to do the good. In other words, true knowledge, once attained, necessarily results in right action. By aligning our actions with our Stoic understanding, we bring ourselves closer to the ideal. Carl Jung's concept of individuation, the psychological process of achieving self-actualization, further highlights the necessity of action. For Jung, integration of the self does not occur in contemplation alone, but through encounters with the world that compel us to grow. He argues that you are what you do, not what you say you'll do. Therefore, Stoic action is about proactively living out the virtues that define the philosophy. It is about embracing life's challenges as opportunities for growth. Instead of shying away from difficulty, a Stoic sees an arena in which to practice virtue. Each challenge is a call to action. In practical terms, this can be as simple as setting daily goals that reflect our values, engaging in community service, or maintaining disciplines like journaling and meditation. Each of these actions not only counters negative thinking, but builds a stronger, more virtuous self. The power of words. Stoic philosophy emphasizes that our virtues are reflected not only in our actions, but also in our speech. The power of words to shape our reality cannot be overstated. Epictetus advised, "First learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak." This points to the power of words to influence, not just express, our thoughts and emotions. The Stoics understood that words could build up or tear down the inner citadel of our minds. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on how to communicate truthfully, emphasizing that our words should be seasoned with honesty, restraint, and kindness. By aligning our speech with these virtues, we reinforce our Stoic practice and extend its influence to those around us. Aristotle also contributes to this understanding, highlighting the persuasive power of speech. He argued that the way we speak and the words we choose do not just convey information, but mold the world around us. When we speak, we are influencing opinions, emotions, and behaviors. Plato's dialogues show a deep appreciation for the precision and impact of words. Through careful and considered dialogue, we can challenge assumptions and guide others toward greater understanding. From a psychological perspective, Carl Jung's theories resonate with the Stoic emphasis on mindful speech. He wrote extensively about how language can both reflect and shape the unconscious impulses that drive our behavior. The words we choose are not merely sounds. They are incantations that summon our deepest beliefs into being. A slip of the tongue can reveal a hidden truth, while a deliberate, virtuous word can chart a new course for our soul. Thus, the power of words completes our toolkit for mental transformation. From the silent battlefield of the mind to the world we shape with our actions and our speech, Stoicism offers not an escape, but a path to mastery. It teaches us to renew our minds, choose our surroundings, act with virtue, and speak with intention. This is the art of living, a life not free from hardship, but fortified against it, built upon the unshakable foundation of a mind at peace with itself. He believed that by illuminating these inner impulses through conscious dialogue and reflection, we can weave together the disparate parts of our psyche, fostering a deeper sense of wholeness and well-being. But the power of words is not confined to our conversations with others. It echoes most profoundly in the silent theater of our own minds. The internal monologue, the story we tell ourselves about ourselves, holds immense power to shape our perception and color our emotional landscape. A relentless inner critic, a voice familiar to so many, can be profoundly destructive, eroding our motivation and leaving us adrift in a sea of helplessness. Yet, on the other side of this coin lies the power of a constructive inner voice, one grounded in Stoic virtue, capable of empowering and uplifting the spirit. The practice of positive affirmation, a cornerstone of modern cognitive therapies, finds a kindred spirit in ancient Stoic exercises. This is not a matter of empty self-deception or unrealistic mantras. Instead, it is about consciously reinforcing the strength and resilience that blossom from a true Stoic understanding of what lies within our control. By affirming our capacity to master our responses and by reaffirming our commitment to a life of virtue, we forge an unbreakable Stoic resolve. And so, we see that the power of words in Stoicism is anything but a dry, theoretical concept. It is a living, breathing practice that permeates every aspect of our existence, from our dialogues with others to the private narratives we weave in our minds. Every word we choose carries immense weight. It has the power to build or to break, to enlighten or to obscure, to heal or to wound. As we walk this path of cultivating Stoic virtue, let us remain ever mindful of this transformative power, the power of our words to shape our own character, to influence those around us, and to help create a world more aligned with reason, virtue, and wisdom. Thank you for joining us on this profound journey into the heart of Stoic philosophy. Always remember, the words we choose and the actions we take are the very tools with which we forge a life of virtue and purpose. As you move forward, navigating the inevitable complexities of life, may the wisdom of the Stoics be your compass, guiding you to see every challenge not as an obstacle, but as an opportunity for profound growth. If this exploration has resonated with you, I invite you to continue the journey. Our next discussion delves into the Stoic art of overcoming adversity. You'll find it right here on the screen. Simply click and let us explore further together. Thank you for being part of our community. Together, we are not just accumulating knowledge, we are building a fellowship founded on wisdom and inner strength.